Hello there, and welcome to a special announcement about the video game podcast PlayStation Pals. I'm your host, Nick, and I wanted to give a few updates on the current state of the show and where the show is going. So, first things first, if you follow us on Twitter or if you have notifications turned on your whatever podcast feed you're using, or you auto-download the podcast, you may have heard or saw that the show is canceled. And I am here to tell you that the show is not canceled. What happened was my personal life, my work life, and my podcast life was not in balance. I was being, like I am with video games, a completionist, going from quest to quest to quest and not actually taking a break. So I've been going full throttle on all those things, and it kind of came to a head Monday night, and I just wanted to reset my whole life, including the podcast. Because the podcast we were going full speed, you know. We started the podcast 60 weeks ago, and not only do we have 60 episodes of the podcast, we also have 3 bonus episodes and 2 live reactions to both the PlayStation Showcase and Summer Game Fest. So we were going at a breakneck pace with the show. We never took a week off. We maybe missed a day here or there, but we always released a podcast week after week after week. And so that lack of balance just led me to not want to do it anymore. So now that the show is not canceled, where does this lead the podcast? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few week hiatus. We're going to call episode 60 kind of the end of season 1, which is, I think, a good place to end it because we left on quite a good cliffhanger. Like, is John going to betray PlayStation Pals and become an Xbox gamer? Like, is he going to be talking about Starfield and we're just going to have to commit to being a Xbox podcast? Ugh, I hope not, but who knows? I think you're just going to have to listen when we come back to find out. But currently right now, man, John is all about that Xbox. That's all he talks about. You know, if he was here with me right now, that's all he would want to talk about is Hi-Fi Rush and Signalis and Pentiment and all the games he gets on Game Pass and how he licks his Xbox before he goes to bed, gives it a few kisses and a hug, you know, that he's in love with it. So is this going to continue? I don't know. You gotta find out. So what we're going to do is the following plan. The current plan is that at the beginning of September, that first week, is that the podcast will return. That's a great spot for us to come back in, right? All the big releases will be out or about to be out, including Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Sea of Stars, Baldur's Gate 3, and of course, Starfield. You know, will Bethesda's next RPG live up to the hype? So we figured that's a great place to come back because like us and you will be wanting to consume so much video game content because video games will be firing left and right. That being said, there is Opening Night Live, that third pillar of Jeff Keighley's events. That is August 22nd. And we may, depending on what is announced there, record an episode of us talking about it, if we deem the show is good enough. So we might sneak in an extra episode in there, but then again, expect that the full show to come back first week of September. The show will change a little bit in the format. So how the show works now is John and I both bring 3 things for a total of 6 things. And we've kind of made the 6 things our quota. Like we always wanted to hit 6 things, even if we had to sneak some things in there that we weren't really fans of talking about. Like such as this month's August PlayStation Plus Extra games, which outside of Sea of Stars, not great. So, but if we wanted to do 6 things every week, we would be forced to bring it. It's just an easy topic. It fills a slot. We're not going to do that anymore. So if John wants to bring 3 things and I want to bring 1 thing, we're going to do it. That's how it's going to work. We just want to do things that we are really passionate about and bring them to the show. We won't force it anymore. So there might be a podcast where I bring 3 things and John brings nothing, and we just talk about what I want to talk about. So that's how the show is going to work as from a format standpoint. But also John wants to bring more non-gaming content to the show. So if we feel really strongly about something, like we did with episode 60, we brought Oppenheimer, had a really good discussion on that. We hoped you guys enjoyed it, and we think that that helps provide a little bit more of a window into our personal likes outside of video games. Like obviously, if you've been listening since episode 1, you know what we like on the video game front. But what do we like in our personal lives? We have book recommendations, movie recommendations, TV show recommendations that are just outside of being just video game adaptations of those things. So that will come to the show as well. And then we're going to change the day that we record the podcast. So initially, the plan was to record on Thursday, post on Friday. That just would give me enough time to edit, get everything up, and make sure everything was great, the podcast sounded great and all that. But we slowly slipped into this record on Friday, post on Friday format, and that's just too much. Like it's at the end of the work week. John and I are tired, and then we record the episode, and then I got an extra amount of work to do after that to get the podcast up to make sure we hit this Friday. So we're not entirely sure, but I am pitching kind of a record on Monday, post on Tuesday. So we'll have the energy level because it's just Monday. It's the first day of the week. We've recovered from the weekend, and the show should be better. And then again, with us not relying on the 6 things anymore to hit 6 things every week, there won't be this rush for us to try and get content out. It'll be like, if there's nothing really to talk about that's happened in the last week, it doesn't matter. By Monday, we'll just pick whatever we want to talk about. But again, this fall looks stacked. It's going to be packed. We're going to have a lot to talk about. But again, also the reduction of those 6 things is also good because when Spider-Man 2 comes out and it becomes a thing, we're not recording a 2-hour podcast because we spent an hour talking about Spider-Man 2 and then talking about 5 things for another hour. So again, just letting the show breathe better, not feel as forced, and reduce the stress level on myself especially. So that's where things are going to go. Oh, and finally, video. We keep talking about it. I want to do it, but I want to have the time to make it look phenomenal. And with this hiatus, I will just have the time to just slowly get it working, not have that stress level, and just no pressure, and just have a few weeks to get it to look absolutely great. Because I think it's the only way the show will grow. Like with YouTube Shorts and TikToks, that's the future. That's how you get eyes on you. That's how you get more viewers. And all it will take is one John rant to go viral, and then the show might be something cool and profitable, and something we may have money to put more things into it and try new topics because we have a larger audience contributing to the overall discussion of the show. So that's it. And yeah, I'm sorry for everyone that was worried about the show being canceled. I'm in a much better place now, and I'll be in an even better place when the show relaunches. I promise you that. But I'm sorry to worry you all. But that's it. So expect, again, radio silence from the show for the next few weeks, and then we might do a teaser trailer about what we talk about us coming back, and then giving that exact release date and what to expect from the show going forward. This is also a great time for you to give us feedback on the show. So what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What should we not talk about at all? What should we bring back? Does the wheel need to come back? Are you that sick out there that you want to hear us bring back the wheel to do some crazy shenanigans on the show and then bring us bad luck going forward? We can always bring those things back, but let us know through any of our social platforms, including email at PlayStationPalsPod@gmail.com, or Twitter DMs at PSPalsPod, or comments on our YouTube page at PlayStation Pals. Any of those things, please. We love hearing from you. It doesn't always have to be positive. Believe me, we will still love you if you critique the show. So we want to hear from you. We'll take the praise, of course, but if you have any critiques of the show, what we can be doing better, please let us know. So with that, again, if we don't decide to do a bonus podcast on August 22nd, Expect to hear from us in the next few weeks, and then officially relaunch Season 2, Is John an Xbot, in September. So stay tuned. We are very excited to bring the show back. So love you. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.